Hello everybody and welcome to the kitchen table this Wednesday afternoon. It's good to be here again. Alison Seven here from Milksham Tea Ministry. I was thinking about what to speak about today, and to be honest, there is so much that is going on in our world that I ended up sort of thinking I'll just sit here with my head in my hands and say, over to you, God. Kind of feels like that's all we can do, and that's not all we can do, because that's a huge thing to do. But we are living in such bizarre times. As I'm recording this, we are still waiting to hear of news of America, with Donald Trump threatening to go to the Supreme Court and stop the count in the elections over there. That seems just such an act that will remove any sense of integrity, any truth and any democracy from that nation. So we wait with bated breath. And when I was talking to a friend just now about just how bad things can get, she said, well, at least when you feel like it's the worst it can be, you look across the ocean and you think, well, there are weirder things that can happen still. Tomorrow we go into lockdown. And I think right back to March, when we were thinking about what lockdown would mean, how it would affect us, how long it would last. We are back there again. And although we have a date that we're looking forward to coming out of lockdown, I think many of us are aware that that is a date that is a bit of a movable feast. We will need to wait and see how well the actions of people and the efforts of government will play into suppressing the numbers of the COVID-19 virus. So here we are, unknown, thinking once more about what is around the corner. People worried about their jobs. I've been walking around the town today and talking to a few people. Some places staying open for takeaways, other places closing down but going to be able to still do some online deliveries. So in a sense there is a more hopeful picture than the last time. The last time there was just nothing and no sense of being able to continue. What would Jesus do is the thing that I always think of in any difficult situation. And I think Jesus would want us to look for the hope, to lift our heads and to think about a way forward. That's just what I was talking about last night. Derek and I were on a meeting with our deanery. It's a collection of churches that gather together in our local area, and Bishop Andrew was part of that conversation, thinking about how we move beyond this situation, how we think into our future, rather than being bogged down with what we are in now, but how we use this situation to inform our faith, to help our churches to respond to a new world. I think that's exciting and challenging. Many of you might be feeling that's a scary place to be, feeling that the things that you know that you've always had the same are what you like, are comfortable and not to be messed with. But the reality is, COVID has had a massive effect on all sorts of businesses and organisations and charities, and the church is no different. Financially, we have really struggled this year. We will continue to struggle next year, I believe. And as a church, the Church of England may be rich in terms of buildings, but poor in terms of cash to actually make things happen. So there will be cuts to jobs. Clergy numbers will reduce, either through natural wastage, I think they call it, when we retire, or through posts not being re-advertised if somebody's moving away. We're lucky here in Melksham that there is no sign of that happening here. We are ready to welcome a new rector when we can invite them for interview. Those have been postponed. But the future of the church has to look different. I think there'll be more conversations over table talks, over Zoom meetings, over all sorts of technological ways of keeping us connected. And churches that used to have 2 or 3 services, maybe on a Sunday, an evening service, things like that, they're going to have to reduce some of those. We've not had those for a while in Melksham. But we do have 3 churches that we have to try and find ways of moving forward. I think Jesus wants us to look forward with passion, with hope, and with joy in our hearts. And I know that's so hard in these dark and difficult days, but we have to lift our heads beyond and see what is possible for you and for me. No matter what the outcome across the sea, no matter how the virus has us going round and round in circles, which may go on for years, no matter what the political fallout of Brexit will be, the truth of the matter is, for Christians, we have hope in God. We have hope in a community of love, and we have a passion for cohesion, a passion to join together, to serve one another, to keep going. And when some of us get tired and weary, for others of us to lift up the reins and carry on. And when we get tired and weary, know that somebody will be there to help us in the struggle. I can give you no easy answers, and I might still hang my head in my hands at the end of a day when everything feels so different and we all feel so vulnerable. But Jesus came into the mess and chaos of this world, knowing exactly how chaotic it can be. And he walked amongst us, giving us the tools to be able to deal with the chaos. Those tools are love, compassion, mercy, and justice. And when we hold fast to those things, when we hold fast to the righteousness of God, then all things are possible. You might not know God in your life, but I believe that for many of us, even if we don't know God, we know the principles of the love that Jesus came to show us. And if we follow those things for our brothers and sisters, it will make a difference in our community. This coming Sunday would have been Remembrance Sunday in our churches and in our towns. We would have gathered and we would have taken that moment to give thanks for the sacrifice of so many others. This coming Sunday, we will be in our own homes. We will be invited to go out onto our doorsteps, maybe to the end of our garden path, and to stand in solidarity with one another in a 2-minute silence as we remember the sacrifice of so many, as well as the sacrifice of Jesus. And as we do that and we share together, we are reminded that we are not alone, that we do this together. I hope your energy stays as high as it can be. I hope your love expands to meet the needs of those around you. And I hope the peace of God falls upon each and every one of you. Do join me on Sunday morning for a remembrance service from the kitchen table. We will have a 2-minute silence in there, and we will be singing and praying and remembering. Don't forget to phone if you need a chat. Take care. Let's lift our heads, take our hands away and say, onwards we go, held by the love of God. See you soon.